Hi, welcome to the channel and my showcase for the McLaren Senna in Forza Horizon 4. Obviously the McLaren Senna is Forza Horizon 4's flagship car. So this is a car I've tuned up to S2 so top spec. So I'm going to do some racing to show you what this thing's capable of and hopefully win you over. So first up we've got a free roam rush here. I've joined obviously late into a series of races, so I've missed the first race, which was an actual race, which is a shame. But free roam rush, you know, is a point A to B situation. You can cross the country, you can do whatever you want to get to the end of the race. So not necessarily the best choice for this type of car, but let's see how we go. I'm pretty confident in this thing. So the only thing that's really going to bite me here is if I make mistakes like I just did. Drove into the top of the bridge there, going over the highway. So I'm trying to quickly get onto the highway there. Unfortunately I made a mistake. If I hadn't made that mistake I'd have been out in front, but I can probably recover that. I am the kind of person, if you've watched the channel before, you'll know I always finish a race no matter how bad I'm doing. I'm not one of these people that quit because I'm losing. If we all did that, there wouldn't be any races ever finished, I don't think. So bit of a shame that people do that all the time on Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsport, but I always finish my races, like I said, no matter how bad it's going. So at the moment I'm making a few mistakes, lost about 45 miles an hour there as I hit that crash barrier. Oh, sorry buddy. Clipped that Pagani as he shot past. There's a Vulcan there as well. He's not being so friendly with the Pagani though, he's giving him a bit of a tap up the butt. Someone, oh, I was too busy looking at that other car. Caught that one. I'm going to get this one as well. Yeah, okay, this is not going so well for me at the moment, but it is live and I'm doing a live race through and a live talk through, so I'm going to keep going. You know, I've got faith in this car. I should be able to pull some places back. So through the shrubbery there, not the best place to go, but it was the quickest route. I'm going to try, if I can, stay on the road here, because this thing obviously is a king of the road, and that's where its power and speed comes from. I'm doing the odd little cut over, but the problem is you get that little bit of a launch sometimes and it stops you staying on the road. So I'm just going to keep pushing it here. As you can see, I'm only getting 138 miles an hour out of this thing at the moment, as opposed to the 210 I can normally get. So I've managed to drop into third actually, so second. So quite a few people have gone mountaineering, it seems, and it hasn't turned out quite so well for them. So I managed to catch up quite a few places. They might catch me yet, we'll see. I'm a little bit too fast for this corner. I wanted to slow that down. I'm going to keep the speed on, try and... No, I couldn't brake because I was in the air then. Damn it. I'm right next to the finish line. Hopefully I can keep this second as we go up the hill. There we go. Cool. So second place. A little bit touch and go that one, not the best showcase for this vehicle. I will obviously be going through the entire event, so stick with me. It, as you saw though, it handles pretty well on these free roams. You know, as long as you don't go too crazy and max out speed at the top of hills and stuff, then you should be able to land quite nicely. Just try and keep this thing on the ground as much as you can, because that's the biggest benefit you're going to get. Obviously it can't go fast if it's not on the floor. So quite a few people making some mistakes there at the beginning. I caught some fencing there, but I'm trying to get away from these guys so I can get out front and avoid being bashed around, because there are a few kind of bashers in the group there, I've noticed. So I want to try and stay out of their way, because that's going to ruin my race otherwise. So what I need to do now is show you how well this thing handles, because this is an extremely technical section. So I love the way that rear spoiler flips up and down as you brake and change gear. A little bit heavy into that one, a little bit too much handbrake. Got a slight lead on the competition, not massive amount. But this thing, if you know how to drive it, control it, and manage its acceleration, it actually handles beautifully, and it really is a good drive. I literally had a couple of days break from Forza Horizon 4, so I'm coming into this as a fresh race. This is the first thing I'm doing in the game, but even more reason to kind of prove to you that this thing is actually a good car and it can win races, even when I'm not driving at my best. So quite nicely taken section there, and we've got a few more. We've got a really tight one here, controlled that quite nice, got through there beautifully. And then we've got some downhill section. This can get a bit hairy, this, because it is downhill and you really do pick up the speed, and it can get a little hard to control sometimes. I managed to get around that quite nicely though, and I'm only a mistake away from the competition, so they are behind me, but only just at this point. So I'm a little bit heavy there, I felt that, or I was a little bit heavy on the handbrake there. That back end is considerably heavier than the front on this car, and it is very easy to get yourself into trouble on corners if you don't, drive to your best ability. You just tap that brake that little bit too hard and let that back end slide past the front, you get into trouble. But that is rarely an issue for me, but we shall see if I can get away without doing it again during the race. So we're straight down the road here and we're finished. So I managed to reel this one in first place. Wasn't the cleanest of races, but it did the job. And that was a pretty technical circuit. So to actually win with an S2 998 McLaren Senna on that type of circuit, it's not a bad deal actually. It's a pretty good run. So I'm quite happy we got the result we did there. So race 3 is obviously another free roam rush. These things are real touch and go. You can make mistakes like I just did again. That was weird. It was like that tree had like a force barrier around it. Maybe there was something under that moss or something. But I stopped a good few feet away from that tree. Thought I had clearance. Anyway, working on getting out front here. So I've got a competitor out front. He's decided to go off-road. That's not the best place to go off-road. There's lots of trees there. I'm going to take the advantage and use the road. So this is extremely quick on the road. Just need to brake a little bit there. Don't want to slide down that bank. It's got an incline, and that will just drag me off track. So another quite tight section. Just give it a little bit of brake here and there, and this thing just flies. It really is a nice drive. It's really solid handling, what I've done with this as well. It's very grippy. The only time you're going to get into trouble is if you go into corners too fast. Braking is a key element of making it round corners. The amount of people I see on Forza Horizon 4 doing 226 mile an hour into a corner and then kind of crashing everyone out because they didn't use the brakes is unreal. But the only time I don't use the brakes is if I don't realise there's a corner there, or I've kind of gone into phase out mode. My brain switched off for a few seconds, which does happen unfortunately, because obviously you guys that regularly watch me, I suffer severe sleep apnea. So sometimes I go into a coma while I'm racing and I'm just not there. I might be awake, but I'm not actually in, if you like. It's like the lights are on, but no one's home. So sometimes I do that, that stuff, but that's not within my control, unfortunately. But way out in front, can't see a marker anywhere at this point. Tight old corner there. No, not as tight as it looked actually. I thought that was a real tight one. I'm going to cut this across, so we're right near the finish here. So I'm actually in first place at the moment. Can I hold it? I'm going to chuck this sideways in the air so I can get a nice turn. Excellent textbook stuff. And then into that corner across the finish. So another first place. So far, a second on a rush, a first on a race, and a first on a rush. So a couple of first places. Got one more event to go, so we'll see how I will do there. Blue team wins again, so it's all very close to the wire here. So it's 2v2. I'm quite a way back of the pack here. Be interesting to see. This is actually quite a tough race from what I remember. Trying to get up on the inside of these guys, getting bounced around a bit. Oh, two-wheeled on the curb. Can't brake. too busy trying to control the car and not focusing on braking there, so that was my bad. But it's real dirty back here, as I thought it would be. There's a lot of tit for tat. People, it's really probably just people trying to get out in front and stay there. Want to get out of the pack, like me. And as long as we're hitting each other, that just ain't happening. Oh, yeah, just use me as a brake buddy. Okay, so getting caught up on the Pagani here. Slide it around a little bit too heavy there. Oh, they've gone for me again. I think that guy's taken, or these guys have taken a bit of a disliking to me for some reason. They seem to be using me as a brake quite regularly. So at the moment I'm in 7th, and I've just lost a lap, so I've got 2 laps to get this back now. And I'm late on the brakes. Sorry, buddy. Just ruined his spoiler. I haven't quite got used to that. The Porsche guy took offence to me there, which is fair enough. I did, I was late on the brakes there, so I understand him being upset. Not my intention at all, sir. Getting bashed around again by that Lancia, and he's lost it, and no one, including me, is going to forgive him, because all he's done is smash me during the race. I can't stop anyway. If I stop, I just get driven through, so I couldn't do much else there other than carry on, really. So 2nd place here. Oh, he punted me up the rear. That pushed me off the track. Lost a lot of speed there. I was going to get around that cleanly, and then it's all up to me to get this straight right. This can be a big difference between me getting 2nd and nothing. And I braked bad. Oh no, I'm too much into... I'm going to turn around slow here, because this game loves to make you visible at the worst possible moment sometimes. And I didn't want to take out anyone else coming into that corner. There's no point in them having a bad race as well as me. But no, on that straight, I just hit the brake. I felt it. I just pushed it that bit too hard. It locked up, threw me backwards, and I just lost everything. So at the moment, I'm way back in 8th. So this... Oh, get around this corner, avoid this guy, because he really does not like me. So I've managed to slip into 5th, and I don't think it's going to get much better than that at this point. Around the corner, I'm on the grass. If I was on the road, I could have got those guys. Someone spun out there, so I'm in 5th place, coming across the finish, and that's it for me. But yeah, a bit of a rough and tumble race that way. Not a great way to finish, but anyway, that's my McLaren Senna S2 998 tune. It is actually a really good tune. That last race wasn't a great showcase for it, but hopefully the previous 3 are a bit more convincing. Hope you enjoyed the race in action. I will be back with some more vehicles from Forza Horizon 4 soon. Thanks for watching. Take care, keep well, and most importantly, come back soon.